Interesting facts about famous people.
Mountain Man Westerns. Mountain men and women in the era of the Old West demand our respect and admiration. Today we are looking at movies telling the stories of their harsh lives in a very hostile environment. Just a sample of 11 today. If you enjoy this video, take a look at my channel for more. The link is in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to share with your friends. Let's get into it. The Hateful Eight, 2015. After the script leaked online, writer and director Quentin Tarantino did not want to make this movie. However, after they did a brief reading of the script in Los Angeles, the cast was stunned and got excited for the film, and with Samuel L. Jackson persuading him to do this movie, Tarantino accepted.
Not a warning, not a question. A bullet.
The Revenant, 2015. Leonardo DiCaprio chose to devour a raw slab of bison's liver, even though he is a vegetarian. He also had to learn to shoot a musket, build a fire, speak 2 Native American languages, Pawnee and Arikara, and study with a doctor who specialized in ancient healing techniques. DiCaprio calls it the hardest performance of his career. Bend of the River, 1952. Though the film received generally poor reviews, it is noteworthy as marking the turning point in James Stewart's career, as he began to play much more violent, cynical, and ruthless characters. James Stewart was so upset when Rock Hudson received more cheering and applause at the premiere that he vowed never to talk to the actor again, let alone work with him, and he never did.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Any man can make a mistake. He can make lots of mistakes. But when he meets a woman and falls in love with her...
I see what you mean.
Mountain Men, 1980. Though it's never explicitly stated in the film, the story takes place during 1838. This is based on the fact that the beaver market was declining and the rendezvous was held on the Popoagi River. The era of the Mountain Man ended 2 years later. Many of the extras in the rendezvous scenes were reenactors, known as buckskinners. These folks had a grand old time making this film. Most of the costumes seen in the rendezvous scenes, including weapons, and many of the horses, were the personal property of the actors wearing them.
Iron Belly, higher in the mountains.
Rocky Mountain, 1950. In 1949, Ronald Reagan complained to Warner's about some of the films he was assigned to and asked to do a western. The studio agreed if he would bring them a good story. Reagan brought them Ghost Mountain by Alan LeMay, author of The Searchers. Despite their promise to him, they cast Errol Flynn in the lead. Thunder Mountain, 1935. Cal Emerson, George O'Brien, and his pal, Steve Sloan, Dean Benton, have the secret of a gold mine in Thunder Mountain, but no money to finance their prospecting until Cal rescues Sidney Blair, Barbara Fritchie, from the unwelcome advances of a drunken miner. She persuades her father, Samuel Blair, Edward LeSaint, to stake them. According to news items, a company of 72 members filmed scenes for this picture in a tent city, 62 miles north of Sonora, California. Dead Man, 1995, the final theatrical movie of Robert Mitchum, John Dixon. Neil Young recorded the soundtrack by improvising mostly on his electric guitar, with some acoustic guitar, piano and organ, as he watched the newly edited movie alone in a recording studio. The lines, "The vision of Christ that thou dost see is my vision's greatest enemy, that nobody says to the Trading Post missionary," are from William Blake's The Everlasting Gospel.
What he found instead was trouble. Now there's a reward on his head.
You were a poet and a painter.
The Man from Snowy River, 1982. Tom Burlinson had not ridden horses much before making this movie, and when he took Denny over the cliff to go after the Brumbies, that was a one-take shot at full gallop down the cliff face. The Man from Snowy River is a poem that was written by Banjo Patterson. Patterson himself, along with the words of the poem, are immortalised on the Australian $10 note. Brokeback Mountain, 2005. When asked if he had any fears about playing a gay man, Heath Ledger replied that he was not afraid of the role, only that he wasn't mature enough to do it justice. Heath Ledger declined to go to the one-month cowboy camp that had been organised, as he had grown up on farms in Western Australia. Jake Gyllenhaal was required to attend, however, as he needed roughing up.
Man, that's more words than you spoke in the past 2 weeks.
Hell, that's the most I've spoken in years.
Shane, 1953. Jean Arthur, then aged 50, came out of semi-retirement to play Marianne Starrett, largely as a favour to her friend, director George Stevens. She would retire completely from the film business after this picture. Jack Palance had problems with his horse during filming. When Shane and Jack first look each other over at the Starrett Ranch, Palance was supposed to dismount for a minute, then remount his horse. He could not remount, so the director had Jack dismount his horse slowly, then ran the film in reverse for the remount.
George Stevens has created a motion picture unforgettable for its spectacle and scope, its great human story, its deadly
Jeremiah Johnson, 1972, based upon a real-life trapper named John Johnson, nicknamed Crow Killer, and Liver Eater Johnson, for his penchant to cutting out and eating the livers of Crow Indians he had killed. Several Crows had murdered his wife, and he swore vengeance against the entire tribe. Many of the locations for the film were shot on or near Robert Redford's property in Utah. He owned approximately 600 acres there at the time, although some locations were as much as 600 miles away.
Jeremiah's story was that kind. He was a man the Indians.
A few honourable mentions: McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Paint Your Wagon, The Hanging Tree, Open Range, Wind River, Ride the High Country. Thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate likes and subscribers. Don't forget to hit the notification button to get my new videos. Share with your friends. Drop me your comments. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.